Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an episode of Starting From Scratch. I'm excited to show you guys this particular episode because, it is pretty, pretty good in my opinion. I quite enjoy it, and I'm kind of looking forward to showing you guys the future episodes. I've played quite a few games ahead now, so I know some of the players we're going to be picking up. But as you can see, this is the team we have right now. Morata, that Real Madrid striker, he's really quite tall. He's not exactly the fastest, but, so far he's been proven to be a pretty decent striker, and overall I've quite liked him. Then we have my center forward, who should actually be a striker, but whatever. He is a German striker, and he's actually really good. I like him as well. He's on a much better chemistry than Morata is. He's not necessarily playing that much better than Morata, but because of the chemistry, you tend to find that he feels a little bit smoother on the ball, and his acceleration feels just that little bit quicker. But we had a game coming up, and it was against a guy with a fairly similar sort of chemistry. I guess I had 15 more, but overall pretty similar. He kind of made up for it by having a bit of a stronger attack, but overall, pretty even size. So it was going to be an interesting game. And of course, when I have these sort of low rated players and low chemistry, you're going to come up against some players that might be a little bit more new to the game and things. So I don't necessarily consider myself a good player just for winning games like this. It'll be more about when I come into the games and in the divisions and things like that. But at the moment, I'm just playing single matches mainly because I want to make sure I can get a decent team before I dare venture into the sided divisions. Now this guy, he plays it here, and he thought he would try and disrespect me and come across the face of the goal, but that didn't work out too well for him, and I nicked the ball off him, and I kind of fortunately get it. It kind of squeezes between the keeper, and I get a little bit lucky, but some good passing movement, and the fact that Korkmaz there, my left midfielder, actually does a good job of staying onside, comes off the keeper makes a decent first save, but it wasn't good enough to keep out the ball from the net. And there, Agner, I think is how you'd like to pronounce it, I guess, actually does a good job of stealing it. But that is some finish from my German center forward slash striker. That was really nice on the left peg as well. Just buries it past the keeper to make it 4-0. And that's a win in the bank. He only had 3 shots, and none of them were on target, which was quite surprising actually. But I'm just happy to pick up a win. And so far we are undefeated right now. I believe, what's that, 3-0? Yeah, 3-0. We are looking pretty good. And I wanted to pick up Perisic here because Perisic is a wonderful left midfielder. He's got some fantastic stats, he's got 4-star skills, and overall I just really wanted to try and pick him up. I wanted to try and pick him up with a chemistry style too, because I think chemistry styles in this game are really important, and if you guys are going to try and pick up a player, try and get him in a chemistry style. But unfortunately, you'll find with a lot of the cheaper players that they don't tend to have chemistry styles on them. I'm not entirely sure why that is. Maybe it's because the non-rare players tend to be bought by the players that are kind of more new to the game, I suppose, and they don't really think about chemistry styles. Or maybe chemistry styles, a lot of the time, they can be more expensive than the actual player themselves, so it might not actually be worth their time to do that. So that's another reason for a lot of these lower rated players not having chemistry styles on the players. But, if you guys are buying well-known players, players are worth around the 10k mark, it's worth your time just to go ahead and scroll along, look for the sort of chemistry style that you want on your player anyways, and try and sort that out. But that sorts out my silver left midfielder issue, and I managed to put Perisic in there, and I was excited to go into the next game to see how well he would perform. I also picked up Juve. I'm not too sure where the editing from that went. My apologies, guys. But I actually managed to pick up Juve as well as a striker. He was just a monster. He's got 88 pace, fantastic strength, and I picked him up for 500 coins as well. So for 500 coins, I pick up Juve. I mean, that is awesome. Not only that, but we bump up the chemistry massively. As you can see, we've got pretty much a Bundesliga attacking force from the midfield going up. I do need to sort out I can hardly speak. I'm talking a little too fast, but I need to sort out the defensive midfielder. I also need a new centre-back, a new keeper, and, Digne. I love Digne. Digne is such a great left-back, but it has to be said, I want to make sure the chemistry in this team is going to be flowing nicely. So maybe someone like Pander possibly might come into play. I'm not entirely sure. He is one of the most insane left-backs. I have him in Silver Squad on my main account, and his shot and his free kick is just ridiculous. I would recommend him to a lot of you guys out there building any sort of German silver side. But this scrub muffin makes the error of playing a 76 rated chemistry side going up against a 38. He only had 38, I had 76, and I was just like, oh, come on, man. Like, he's either got to be relatively new to the game to be able to sort of accept that challenge, and he just must not respect the, chemistry that much. But did you see he had sentiment? This was just like center midfielders as center backs. He had a center midfielder as a right back. He had a center defensive midfielder as as a left midfielder. This guy was just all about that center midfielder hype, and as you can see, Juve there just literally dances and prances around his what I would say defense or second midfield, playing a little bit deeper than usual. And yeah, Juve was just going to tear that to pieces, rip him a new hole, and there was only one way this game was going to go. As you can see, you could tell he was relatively new to Ultimate Team, and by beating this guy, it doesn't mean I'm a good player whatsoever. He had a very handicapped side, and as you can see, like a keeper like that, most keepers would tend to save that. Oh, well, I'd like to think they would, and my German striker there does a good job of burying that and putting that home. But I was 2-0 up, and I wanted to make it a little bit more, and as you can see, ball just bouncing over the place like a ping pong, and or even pinball, and a nice over the top through ball, played through again to my German striker, but he finds Juve in the open, who just sails that into the back of the net past the keeper, and it actually freezes for a while. I'd press the middle button to see if it was me that had frozen. It wasn't me that had frozen. Thankfully, this club name, Please Don't Freeze, is actually working out pretty nicely for me so far. Touch wood. But yeah, and I know some of you guys have just touched your dick there, but why did I even say that? I shouldn't have fucking said that. It's just my immaturity took over. Anyways, guys, a 3-0 win. That's gonna wrap it up for this episode. I hope you did all enjoy it, and of course, if you did, then leave a like if you are enjoying the starting from scratch series. Expect a career mode coming to you guys shortly. Have a great day. Bye bye.